never did. I never ever did. Okay, seriously, I am not happy that people were hating on Amber Heard, but it really became clear because I'm very critical of a lot of women, and I always say that I hate a lot of women. And the reason I say that is because I want you to understand that there is a big difference between understanding women's issues and just being a woman. If you think if your biggest problem is looking for a high value man, sorry, you don't understand women's issues. And it's okay if you want a partner, but I need you to be at least aware of why you want the things that you want slightly. I'm not expecting you to be a perfect human being. In fact, I have gone multiple times and said that I consider myself to be a bad feminist, but not in the sense that I'm being like, oh, I'm a bad feminist and I want to stay this way. No, it's just I am a human being, and sometimes it's hard to take yourself out of how you were brought up, or like the environment that you're in. Like, I'm just one person, I get that. But I remember when the whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp defamation case happened, I remember that I had like 1,000 people supporting me on this specific account, and I talked about all the things that need to take place for a violent stalker. And I talked about how there is a difference between being abusive and being violent, and that every abusive person is violent, but not every violent person is abusive, or not every form of like violence can be abusive. I talked about all the things that need to take place for abuse to happen in the first place. I talked about the age gap. I talked about the wealth gap between the two. I talked about the privilege between the two of them. I talked about the history of abuse that Johnny has. And I'm not the only one who talked about it, but specifically I'm talking about my, what I said and contributed to this. And I was desperately trying to explain to people that, we're not saying that men can't be abused. We're saying that in this specific scenario, this man has not been abused. It's the opposite. And we were talking about how a lot of victims do not come forward because of things like this. And Amber Heard, the defamation case was such a setback for women, but it really gets me thinking about how we really did not get far anyway. I saw a lot of people talking about it, and it really bothers me. It really bothers me, and I don't listen to progressives. I don't listen to progressives at all, because I listen to people and I'm just like, oh, you're not educated. You are a walking Twitter thread, and I can't listen to you. I have severely underestimated how dumb the average person can be. And yeah, every time I come online, I'm just like, yeah, maybe face your books. Maybe face your books. I can't have a conversation with you. It's weird. It looks like there's really nothing behind those eyes. It's given very much Kramer. It's given very much, oh, I don't want to upset people. I don't want to think critically about things. Anyway, I want you to understand, no matter, your stance, that whatever happened to Amber Heard is going to affect you one way or another. If you think that being Master's favorite dog is going to get you anywhere, you are very much mistaken. Very much mistaken. And you played yourselves. You really played yourselves. I remember the audios that you made, the thirst traps you made about that woman, talking about her essay. I remember all the tweets you've made about how you found that deplorable man attractive. You've tried. You really tried, because he does look really, really bad, but I don't know how you overlooked it. I'm talking to the people who are supporting you, by the way. I'm not talking about this person specifically, but I am irked. It's not a harmless thing. There was so much happened because you were desperate to prove your point. You know what I mean? I encourage internalized misogyny sometimes because it can lead to insight. I don't like people being scared of their unconscious bigotry. I think it's good to follow it and discover more about why you feel the way you feel, instead of being scared and shutting it down, because if anything, that's only going to make it harder for you to realize why certain things are wrong. But I think there are things that we cannot play around with, and this was one of those things. It disgusts me to this day thinking of the damage you people did to that woman. Do you know how many abuses exist? Do you know the male to female abuse ratio? Have you ever seen any man being treated the way Amber Heard was treated, an actual victim was treated? No, that has never happened. There are so many men who have done awful things. We have Marilyn, is it Marilyn, the Manson guy, who is besties with Johnny Depp. The amount of things that he has done, I can't even think about it. It gives me nightmares. I'm not even joking. It chills me to the bone that a person can be that disgusting. I've never seen, ever seen a man who's an abuser, and most of them happen, mostly they are abusive. I've never seen a man be treated the way Amber Heard, a woman who dared to come forward about abuse, was treated. And as somebody who was tried to come forward about abuse, I learned why victims stay silent. I've learned why most of my life I was scared that people might treat me badly. Because the thing that I even talked about wasn't even a big deal to me. I've experienced worse. And the backlash that I got was ridiculous. It was not ridiculous only. I realized that really you cannot love yourself out of an oppressive system. You cannot free yourself out of an oppressive system alone. It's just that I want to forgive you people. I want to extend grace to you, but there's a part of me that is bitter. There's a part of me that only sees the worst of you. I imagine the things that you said, the things that you contributed to that specific ordeal, and it's very difficult.